Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Nostalgia Train, and it's a walking simulator for the PS4 and 5, released in 2021, developed by Amata KK and Tanabeya. As far as I understand, Tanabeya is just one person, and there were spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So this game, I believe, was my second purchase on the PSN store for my PS5. It looks kind of amazing, and I have a weak spot for walking simulators. So as you start up the game, you have a couple of options. You have the free mode, story mode, new game, options, control, and credits. But I think at the beginning of a new startup, you can only choose new game. So this game is a walking simulator / novel because there's walls of text at times. I wasn't prepared for that. I thought it would be like Dear Esther, when you walk along a path or something, you will have a narrating voice and text popping out. But this game just stops you dead in your tracks every time there is text on the screen. It is kind of annoying, but you can get used to it, I guess. So the game starts up with a lot of text. It's darkness, you're falling into deep slumber, and you hear the sound of cicadas. So you're all alone on this train station in this quiet country town called Natsugiri in Japan. So for some reason you lost your memory and you need to find clues on what's been happening. So as I said, you're all alone and you walk around this town. You start at the station, so at the beginning of the game you're more or less caged in, so you cannot move on until you found all clues. So the way you found clues is you walk into them. If you press the R2 button, things will glow and it will have some text explaining something that the character is feeling or will progress the plot. So you can check the control with the triangle button, and once you're done with the train section, you can move on to explore the town bit by bit. So a bit further in, or just across the street, there is this bookshop, and I went in, and this is where the game really hit me hard with the text. It was a wall of text, talking for about 5 minutes of reading, and it's kind of heavy because the text kind of dumps on you, and as I said, I was not prepared for it. So I head for a school for more clues, which is like behind the bookshop. And I found a small stream where apparently a kid drowned. So there's this story narrative explaining about the people in this town, I guess. That's more or less it is. It's like a storytelling. And then I was prompted to go back to the train and try to ride it. And of course, I went on it and it started to move. And this is where this game really shines, because this game was made in the Unreal Engine and it's very photorealistic. It was like a beautiful, sunny day, going on the train, went through a tunnel, and then I ended up at the same station where I started. Think of it like the last Matrix movie where Neo is trapped at the train station. You just go on one track and you return to the next. So you have to explore more to get on ahead with the game. So after beating the train section, you get a memory fragment complete, text popping up on screen. I think there are 2 or 3 fragments that you need to collect throughout the story. I haven't gotten that far because, as I said, a lot of text was read. I wasn't, as I said before, prepared to read a book. I just wanted a nice, chill walking simulator, but I got a novel and very little walking instead. So after this section, I took a little break. Actually, I returned to the game next day, and I was more prepared this time for everything. So I went along the roads and everything, and now the game had more or less opened up so I could explore more. And I went down to the sea and I found this shack where there was a story about a young woman that wanted to attend art school, I believe, and she found this man from the city. I believe he was from Tokyo, but her father, to the surprise of no one, didn't like this guy and didn't want her to move out. There was something about the old man's wife also dying, so he was kind of sad. So one thing led to the other, and she was supposed to attend art school no matter what, but she forgot her tickets at her father's place, and her father wasn't the nicest guy, so it ended up him not giving her the tickets when she was rushing back. So it's kind of a sad little story, but I believe this happened back in the day all the time, because parents are very protective of their kids, and sometimes when you lose someone, it hits you really emotional. So I don't think I need to spoil any more of the game. In fact, I didn't play more than 2 sessions because it was a drag, and I know I've been complaining about it a lot, but there's a lot of text and I don't have patience to read a book. I like reading books, but if it's on my terms, but if I have to slowly read through walls of text, and that's not my cup of tea, basically. So gameplay. Explore the town of Natsugiri in the small countryside of Japan and recover your lost memories and learn about the townspeople's histories. Control. The left stick moves the character around and the right stick is, well, camera. L2 ducks, L1 runs, but it's no point in running because you will be interrupted by text everywhere you go anyway. So, and the triangle brings up the menu with options and stuff, and I'm glad about one of the options that you can reverse the y-axis. You look up and down, because for some reason some games stick with the inverted axis, like Metro Exodus, and you can't change it. So that's a good thing with developments, thinking about that people might don't want to swing that way or the other, if you catch my drift. Graphics. So this game was made in a Unity engine and it looks photorealistic. There's this place behind the school on top of a hill where they have a shrine, like one of those classic Shinto Japanese shrines. Really beautiful. And there was a thing that I forgot to talk about, but during the gameplay the weather changes, so you have a sunny day, almost like dreamlike. I guess this person is in a coma or a dream or something, but I didn't get that far. So it switches from daylight to rain and it sets the mood perfectly. It looks really good. And thinking about that just one guy made this is kind of incredible. There's some reused Unity assets. There's like a blue little taxi car that makes a reprise roll throughout the town, but otherwise it's fine. It looks good. It actually looks like a cozy little Japanese countryside town. Easter egg, secrets and glitches. So this game was apparently made by one guy called Tanabeya, and he's credited, well, in the credits as the narrative writer and environmental designer. And it's kind of cool that one person made all of this. There probably was someone that worked on the translations, but it's kind of impressive actually. In conclusion, I wrote, yes, play it if you love reading and a little bit of walking. So I thought this game was a pure walking simulator when I looked at the trailer, but it was deceiving. So every time you interact with a memory, you stop dead in your tracks and you have to go through a wall of text each time. And in the beginning you think like, well, this is gonna be fine, but it drags and drags. As I said, I went into the bookstore and I spent literally 5 minutes just reading text, and at the end of it I didn't even care about the story that was being told. And if a story doesn't grab you, then it's not a good game in that regard. So a thing that they could have done was to have less text and a narrative voice reading the text out loud, like What Remains of Edith Finch, for instance. They made it good. It's like an interactive thing. But overall, it's a really nice looking game. And if you're into reading and a little bit of walking, as I said before, you're in for a treat, I guess, with this one. It's gorgeous, by the way. It looks really good. And as I said, it's impressive that just one guy apparently made this with a bunch of backers. So yeah, if you like that, play this game. So anyway, thanks for listening and watching, and take care.